we know is effective. My classes and advice is always data-based because there are a lot of opinions in marketing. It's a very creative field, it's a very subjective field, and you will hear different opinions from everybody, and that doesn't do you any good. We need to know what is effective and what the data shows will actually get you transactions and closings and grow your business and make you a stronger professional. So that's what I bring to you. Today we're going to talk about marketing plans. Business planning is absolutely fundamental when you own your own business, which all of you do. You have to have a business plan and not just goals, because a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? You can say, oh, I want to close this many transactions. Okay, but what's the plan? Call me biased as a marketing professional, but I feel that the marketing of your business is absolutely one of the most important parts of your business plan, because it's how you're going to go about finding the business. You know, how do we get leads? How do we get our name out there? In a business like ours, that's most of what we do besides literally just handling the clients. So we're going to talk about your 2026 annual plan first. The way this class is structured is it's front loaded with what you're going to do before the new year begins. So the goal is to be prepared to start rocking and rolling on January 1st, not start getting ready to start on January 1st. You know the people who roll into the gym for the first time in a year on the 1st of January and they're just working out the kinks? You want to be the person who's in your stride, rocking and rolling, and when those fair weather New Year's people leave the gym, you're still there, you're still working out, you're still in your flow. That's how we want to look at your marketing plan. So most of what we're going to talk about today is homework between now and the 1st of the year, to get completely prepped, to have a full plan for your year. Then we're going to look at what you're going to do quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily to keep that plan on the rails. So we're going to start with establishing your annual business plan. This is something you should be doing with your BIC, or if you have a real estate coach, a lot of people have a coach they work with. Establishing your plan for, first of all, what are your GCI and units sold goals for the year? Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm going to send you guys these slides when we're done today, so you don't have to write anything you see on the screen, just if you want to take any additional notes. So you want to set your GCI and units sold goal. How much do you want to make? How many transactions do you want to close? I find it helps a lot of agents to identify how many closings do I want per month. So that's something you're going to want to talk to your BIC about. You're going to analyze that based on what did you close last year, what's happening in the market, where is your niche, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a vacation? Do you need funds to take a vacation? All that stuff comes into play when we're figuring out the money we want to make. The other goal is how much do you want to grow your sphere of influence in the coming year? This is something not enough of us are paying attention to in a goal-oriented kind of way. You need to be growing your sphere or nurturing your sphere constantly. In our market right here in Jacksonville, a lot of us are newer in town, maybe don't have a local sphere of influence, or maybe you're younger, don't have a sphere of influence that's actively buying and selling homes right now. So you want to be growing your sphere into a relevant part of the market. Also, there are a lot of us who may have a sphere with which we've not been super strategic, or maybe we just have a database full of names that we haven't identified who our sphere of influence is. I like to use the example of the mayor of Wilmington, Bill Sapo. Bill Sapo is a Seacoaster. He sells homes under the Seacoast brand. I have his name in my phone. I can call him. That man could not pick me out of a lineup. Bill Sapo has no idea who Honor Run is, even though he gets my emails. He's not in my sphere of influence. Just because you have someone's contact info and you know each other does not mean that they're in your sphere of influence. So you want to think about who is truly your sphere of influence and how do you want to be more strategic with that sphere over time. Do you need to strengthen relationships? Do you need to meet more people? Do you need to get more active in your community? How do you want to go about doing that? So those are your two kind of main goals. What do I want to close? And who do I want to meet / how do I want to keep in touch? The next thing we're going to do is look at sources you're going to use to pursue those goals. So our sources are, where do our leads come from? Every closing comes from a lead. And when we hear lead, we think, well, those of us who are older think about Glengarry Glen Ross, right? Coffee for closers. Joseph. Everybody else is just blank. But it's an age thing. But we think about leads, we think about internet leads, we think about somebody referring you. But really, a lead is any person in your world with a sign of change that might lead to them buying or selling a home. So what are our lead sources? Our number one lead source should be our database. Over 80% of transactions last year were closed as a result of a relationship. Either the buyer or seller knew the realtor personally, or they got that realtor through a personal referral. Over 80% of the market, which means that less than 20% of all of real estate is coming from any other lead source besides the database, the sphere of influence. So that's so important to understand before you think about anything else about your business model. Where should most of my business be coming from? My database. So if you find that less of your closings are coming from sphere of influence than 80%, you need to talk to your BIC and talk to me so that we can turn the wrenches and analyze your business model and figure out how to make it more strategic. Because sphere of influence leads are lower cost, faster to close, and tend to go more smoothly than other sources. Do we have any questions about that? Okay, so I'm gonna make sure we're doubling down on that sphere of influence. Geographical farming is another great way to pursue leads. Geographical farming is essentially growing your sphere. In geofarming, you're picking a community or an area that you're gonna market to, and your goal is to become their go-to realtor. That's your goal for your sphere of influence as well. You want the people who know you to think of you as their real estate professional. So, if you're not killing it with your sphere marketing, if every single person in your sphere of influence doesn't think of you as their agent, you don't need to be farming. You need to be rocking and rolling with your sphere marketing. Once you have that completely plug and play and squared away, then you can get into farming because that's growing that sphere. But I just want to remind you, why would you want to add people to your sphere? You're not doing the best job staying in touch with the sphere. So sphere first, then we grow. If you want to farm, please call me and let's have a meeting about it. It's a very strategic and deliberate method, and there are a lot of ways to do it wrong. If we're not really consistent, if we're not sending the right kind of content at the right intervals, it just won't be effective, and it is a higher cost tactic. So I want to make sure every bit of content you put out there is going to be effective for you. I want to maximize your ROI. So if you're return on investment. So if you're interested in farming, give me a shout. First thing we're going to do is look at your database. We're going to look at your CRM. We're going to talk about your sphere marketing, and then we're going to look at how do we want to extend into farming. Internet leads. Internet leads are an awesome supplement. They're a great way to pull in another additional couple of transactions. I don't like internet leads as a core business model because you tend to have the same business year after year. It's pretty much a direct relationship. What you spend on those leads is pretty much what you're going to end up getting out of it every year. You're not going to have great growth to that. But it is a great supplement. It's a great way to add to your business. And if you're working internet leads, the most important thing about it is to wrap those people up in your sphere of influence. Every single lead you close should then become part of your people. Those become part of the relationships of your business. So if you're transactional about it, which is like close the job, shake their hand, say goodbye, never see them again, that's not going to grow your business. But if you turn those people into your people and they become a referral source and you go from there, then that can be a way to grow your sphere and therefore grow your business and have that exponential growth over time that lets each year be bigger than the year before. Does that make sense? Okay, then open houses. Open houses are a really awesome way to grow your business. If you're a newer agent, open houses are a great way to gain legitimacy because you get to be seen in the inventory of your industry. You know, if you don't have listings, it's hard to be seen in houses. So when you're holding open houses, it's your chance to shoot video and just talk to people inside a house that is listed for sale. So it's a great chance for you. It's also an awesome foot in the door. It's just a great way to get into a community and say to the neighbors, I am representing the seller, and on their behalf, I'm here to speak to you, and we're going to talk about that in some more depth in a little bit. But open houses are a great tactic. I find a lot of listing agents don't sit a lot of open houses, and I think that's a mistake. I think it's really helpful to spend time in homes being held open in communities where you want to be seen as the expert, because you get to be seen as a boots on the ground in that neighborhood. You get to talk to neighbors. You get to be an active presence in that community as a professional. So don't sleep on that chance. It's nice for us all to share the opportunities of those open houses, but if you're a listing agent, make sure you're spending some time in those open homes. And then of course referrals, working by referrals, are a very powerful method in this business. We should really think of every person in our life as a strong referral source. You should train your cheerleaders, like the people who love you, to always have their antenna up for signs of change. You know, if they hear like somebody's getting married, somebody's getting divorced, somebody's changing jobs, somebody's moving, they should have that antenna up and your business card ready, because those are your people, they're your cheerleaders, they're your strongest referral sources. So these are kind of the main core business sources in our industry. There are others, but these are kind of, if you're going to build out a business model, this is going to be the core of that business. Anybody have any questions about that? All right. Next step is to get freaking organized. Every single top producer I've ever asked, what would you do different if you could start from the beginning? They all say the same thing, and it's I would keep my database organized, because it is a chore. The number of agents I sit down with, I'll sit down with agents at like, year 5. And they're like, I'm doing great, I had a pretty good year, but I really want to get bigger next year. This is my goal to grow. Where do I start? We look at their database and it's a nightmare. And I'm like, well, that's where we're starting. And I'm sorry. Because it's tough to fix that after years of putting people in your system. So if you're just getting comfortable with the CRM, or if you're just starting in the business, It's time is now. And if you're not just getting comfortable with CRM and you're not just starting in the business and you've been in this business a while, the time is still now, because you have between now and the beginning of the year to start fresh with a clean and qualified database. A qualified database means you've talked to every person in there. How many of us can say that we've qualified our database? Right on, Joe, that's what's up. I'm sure
I've only got 5 people.
I mean, Ellen probably qualified it, so qualifying our database means talking to all the people. So what you do is you literally call every single person, and you call them and you ask forward questions: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams forward. You ask the family, occupation, recreation, dreams questions, and they'll talk and talk and talk, and eventually this little sociological light goes on, and they go, oh my God, I've been talking about myself for a really long time. How are you? What's new? And then you just, full transparency. I'm actually working on my real estate database. I don't know if you know I was in real estate. And I noticed I don't have your snail mail address and I'm sending out Christmas cards. Or I don't have your email address and I'm sending out a newsletter. Or, oh my God, your birthday is not in my system. I wanted to make sure I had your details. So you tell them that. You get their details in there. And then you say, hey, by the way, am I the agent you would use or refer to a friend? And the vast majority of people you talk to will give you the soft yes. Oh, sure. Because they don't have a need right now. They don't need an agent. They don't have a friend who needs an agent. They're like, sure, cool, great. You will get some hard no's, you know, oh, my kid just got licensed, or I just married an agent, and you're like, damn. You take those people out, or at least tag them separate from the rest of your database. They can stay in what I like to call the magic rectangle. They can come to your birthday party, but they don't belong in the body of people on whom you're gonna use marketing minutes and marketing dollars, because they're not gonna give you business or be a referral source, okay? So that's what qualifying is. Finding out who's gonna use you, making sure all of their details are squared away, and that you know when you spoke to them last. It creates this wonderful starting line for all of the rest of your marketing, and every other piece of marketing you send to your sphere of influence has a soft place to land because you just spoke with them. So then your mission moving forward is never let 30 days go by without contact. It's a tall order if you've got a massive database. I have agents come to me and they're like, I only have 50 people in here, and I'm like, great. It's hard to drop the ball with 50 people. Let's rock and roll with that. Let's go from there and grow from there deliberately. Coming and putting 10,000 people in this machine isn't going to help anybody do anything strategically, right? So slow and deliberate growth is a great way to go. Do we have any questions about that? So that's your database. Then what channels will you leverage to work with these sources you selected? So we know where we want the business to come from. How are we going to get in front of them? How are we going to stay top of mind? How are we going to grow? This is not an exhaustive list of channels by any means, but it's pretty much the majority of the places that you will do marketing. Calls and voicemails. It doesn't sound like marketing because when we think marketing, we think advertising, but marketing is anytime you take your business to market. And anytime you pick up that phone, you're taking your business to market. There is no better time spent, besides literally in front of a client, than the time you spend on the phone. Your calls and voicemails are a fundamental and very necessary part of your marketing. Text and direct messages are, you know, when you're dealing with millennials like me, don't call me. You text me. Text me and be like, hey, you free for a call, right? I know a lot of people whose kids are like, don't you dare call me. But you have people in your life who prefer a text. You have people who prefer a call. That's how you reach out. And then you have door knocking, drop-offs, pickups, and pop-bys. That's a face-to-face touch. So these three, voice-to-voice, face-to-face, and text-to-text, are the core of how you will communicate with your sphere of influence throughout the year. You will never want to let 30 days go by without one of these happening with every single person in your sphere of influence. Voice-to-voice, face-to-face, text-to-text. So that face-to-face, that's also take them to lunch, take them to coffee, hang out, whatever, go shopping. But face-to-face is really valuable. But those three, that's the core for your sphere of influence. Next, we have bulk email. That's a supplement. A lot of people want to say like, oh yeah, I touch my sphere every 30 days, I send a newsletter. And I'm like, well, all right, let's look at the open rate on that newsletter. And it's gonna be 10%, maybe. If you've got a 25% open rate on your newsletter, you're killing it, by the way. That is considered a successful open rate for a bulk email campaign. That's a quarter of your people. That's no good. That doesn't count as I'm keeping in touch with my sphere of influence, does it? But it's a great supplement. They see you in their inbox, your name is there, they can tap the thing and read the thing, and that's all great, but it's not your core communication, it's a supplement to that. Social media content and community. So this is your posts, this is your friends. I'm not going to get in deep on this stuff because we don't have that kind of time, and I do a whole social media deep dive class that I'll bring back again in the new year. But suffice to say, on Facebook, you need to have a business page. It's very important for a number of reasons that you have a business page and that you maintain that business page at a high enough level that when you want to run ads to pursue leads or run ads to promote a phenomenal property or whatever else, that you have a page that can support that. And then what you do is you save your you share your posts from your page to your personal profile. That's where the people are. Nobody follows your business page, that's fine, it's okay. If you don't have a bunch of likes on your business page, nobody cares. Never in the history of real estate has somebody at a listing presentation gone, I'd like to list with you, but I need to see how many Facebook likes you have first. It's not a thing. In fact, the average Facebook user likes one page in their entire Facebook life, one single page. You don't need to worry about likes, it doesn't matter. You just need to be friends with the people and share the posts from your business page to your personal. That's where they will see it. That's where it reminds people you're an agent, and where the algorithm is going to do much more to serve you, because the algorithm favors person-to-person connection. So when you share it, that's very valuable. Digital ads are the paid extension of that. We're going to get into that in a little bit of depth, saying not a lot, but I've got some materials for you on that. Events. If you're not attending events, you're not doing this job right. You've got to get into the community. This is an awesome market for that. There's so much good you can do. There's so many ways to engage. There's so many organizations to be a part of. There are tons of events you can participate in, and really to make a difference. But also you need to be holding an annual client appreciation event, and we'll touch on that in a minute. Sponsorships are another way to really put your money where your mouth is in terms of your community. Putting your name on a sign or on a jersey can be really great to just show people that you really do care about the community you're in. Search engine optimization and search engine marketing. A lot of real estate professionals have kind of a skewed perspective on this because of the way SEO works for every other industry. So like if I made widgets for a living, then my SEO goal would be that if you Google widgets in Jacksonville, my website's at the top. That's kind of generally what we think of when we think of search engine optimization. It doesn't work that way in real estate, because we know over 80% of transactions are based on a relationship. So over 80% of people ain't Googling Realtor Jacksonville, they're asking a friend, right? But what we know now, because of the review economy, which is a direct result of Amazon and COVID, everybody's looking at the reviews for everything. In fact, your average consumer trusts online reviews more than word of mouth referrals. So what happens is we get the person's name from a friend, then we go look them up. I'm gonna be like, who is this Joe person? Let me check him out. Then I'm gonna look at your digital presence. That is the search engine optimization that matters in a real estate business. What happens when your name gets Googled, not where your name shows up when they Google real estate. Does that make sense? Because that's where the core of business is going to be coming from, is the other direction. They get your name, now they're looking it up. Now another extension of this we're seeing more and more of is called AEO, Ask Engine Optimization. That is if I ask ChatGPT, who is the best realtor in Jacksonville? Which is happening, we're seeing that happen. But again, over 80% of the business is coming from referral or relationship, so it's not a big chunk of the business. But the most important thing I want you guys to understand about Ask Engine Optimization is that it is so new. A lot of very clever, sneaky vendors are calling you guys and advertising to you and saying, I can get you placed at the top in AEO. And then people are nodding. Every single class are like, yes, I've got that phone call, I've got that email. I'm not gonna say they're scams, but they're not legit. If you scratch the surface, if you know the right questions to ask, all their little guarantees fall away. Because the bottom line is, we don't know enough about what's next in AI for them to be able to guarantee you a daggone thing. And they'll say that if you ask the right questions, they'll admit like, oh yeah, I can't promise you that. But suffice to say, if any vendor calls you about anything marketing related, don't pay a dime until you've talked to me. A big part of my job is vetting products and services for the company. And I've seen most of them, and I've analyzed them extensively. So I know what's gonna move the needle and what's not. And more importantly, a lot of times we already have something that does that. A lot of the tools you guys get marketed to, I'll be like, oh, we already have that. You just didn't know about it, and it doesn't cost you anything, or cost you less. So make sure you're not out there paying for stuff without talking to me first, because I wanna make sure you're not wasting your money and that you get a return on the investment. And sometimes you do stumble on something really, really cool. But if you are going to invest in a product, I want to make sure you're doing it thoroughly and deliberately so that you're going to get a return on that investment. Because agents are real good at just throwing money at the shiny thing. Like, oh, it sounds like it'll be effective. Sounds like it'll give me leads. Let's chuck some money at it. I love taking stuff out of your budget, y'all. It's one of my favorite meetings. Like, you don't have to pay for that. You don't have to pay for that. So that's SEO, SEM, and AEO. Reviews are a huge part of your SEO. People are going to look you up. You got to have reviews. I'm not going to dive into Testimonial Tree today because it's kind of its own thing, but suffice to say we have a product that does automatic review requests for you upon every closing. I'm sending you guys with the slides today a quick video on it. I have a full training on Testimonial Tree, but the vendor did it, it's a little dry. I find that people aren't watching it. So I did a quick one that's like, here's how to do your profile, here's where to get the links, here's where your online directory is. It's just a short, like what you need to know to use it and understand why it's cool. So I'll send that to you. Your online profiles, we're gonna hit that in a little bit of depth today. Signage and outdoor, that's billboards. In marketing, we call billboards that's outdoor. Billboards are great, they're a very strong tactic. The thing about a billboard is you need to be doing other marketing in a community for a billboard to be effective. For somebody to look at you for 7 seconds, which is how much time the average billboard is consumed by a person, they need to be seeing you other places. I would not do a billboard if I wasn't also doing social media advertising, open houses, circle dialing, door knocking, community events, all of that stuff, just listed, just sold postcards. I would do all of that and say, okay, I'm doing all of this, this is working, now I will add a billboard. I would not do it the other way around. You need to be seen all kinds of places before you worry about having your feet or having your face up in the sky, okay? Direct mail. Direct mail is one of the most effective marketing tactics there are. Over 40% of postcards are at least scanned. And by scanned, I mean they look at it, then they look at it, and then they throw it in the trash, as opposed to the 60% that go directly into the trash without them looking at it. What that means is, if I send a postcard every month, I can pretty much assume about half of my postcards are being consumed. That's really high open rate. Of course, it costs more money than an email, because an email costs nothing, but it is very effective. If I had only enough capital to invest in one paid marketing tactic per year, it would be just listed and just sold postcards without question. Like, I'll die on that hill. Because a neighbor of someone saying, raising their hand and saying, I would like you to sell my home, telling all their neighbors that is the most powerful marketing you can do, because someone they know and trust picked you, and you get to send them a beautiful piece of marketing to remind them of that. It's the most powerful marketing an agent can do within a community. So just listen, just sold without question. In this direct mail category, I also have to mention handwritten notes. There's very few better spends of your time than sitting down and writing a few handwritten notes every day. People know it takes time. People know you were thinking about them. In a relationship industry, that is very, very powerful stuff. So if you're not sending handwritten notes, I recommend before you go home today, buy a box of note cards and get ready to start sending out some every day. Publications is placement in magazines and newspapers, that kind of thing. This is not a tactic that I recommend for every agent, certainly not every listing, but if you have a multi-million-dollar home, you might want to consider magazine placement. Not because it sells the house. There's nobody on the planet flipping through magazines going, oh, I'm gonna buy that house. It's not how people buy homes. However, you do that to show your seller what you do for them, and most importantly, so you can get a copy of that magazine and take it to your next listing presentation and get the next multi-million-dollar listing. Nothing helps you win a high-end listing like a high-end listing. So whenever you do have a high-end listing, you want to do awesome, beautiful, gorgeous marketing, keep samples of all of it, and take it to the next one. If you do have a high-end listing, if you're preparing to try to win one, or if you've won one, call me. I want to make sure you're using all of our stuff and leveraging that to the fullest to make sure that you win the next one too. PR and press is basically placement in publications because it's something you did as opposed to something you paid. Any of you who are involved in the community, please get up with me. I want to make sure that we are helping you leverage that. I know tons of agents who are very active in the community, but they feel icky about marketing it. They don't know how to do that. And there are ways that we can help you promote without you feeling like you're being salesy about it. And the bottom line of it is, you use your marketing to amplify the message of the organization you care about. And I've worked with a lot of agents in Jacksonville on that because there are a lot of causes we really, really care about in this community, especially that I can help you guys work with. So let me know how I can help with that. Partnerships and collaborations. Don't forget that the vendors that we constantly talk about with you guys, so Key Title, Alpha Mortgage, 210 Home Warranty, My Carolinas Insurance, their job is to be there for y'all. You are the client, okay? Your clients are your clients, you are their clients. Their whole job is to be of service to you so that you want to use them for the next transaction. So if you need someone to co-brand a flyer, someone to help you with an open house event, someone to throw in on a gift basket, call your vendors and see if they will help you. Because generally they will, and that participation is going to make both of your marketing stronger. Then there's TV and radio. And as far as TV, Coldwell Banker advertises on TV. They have year after year the #1 TV ad in real estate. They constantly win that award. They've got that covered. We do not need, even Seacoast doesn't advertise on TV. It's not a good spend for y'all, and not for us either. Radio can be very effective. Radio, much like billboard, needs to be part of a multi-channel marketing effect, or I wouldn't even do it. You need to be doing the just listed, just sold postcards, doing the social media ads, door knocking, circle dialing, sitting open houses, all of that face-to-face community stuff, then billboard, then radio. We're gonna add and add and add. So if you're at a place where you've got your billboard and you're doing all that other marketing and everything's kicking butt, and you're like, okay, I want to invest some major capital in really big growth, radio would be next. So it's not something we do at the beginning, but at the end. Okay? Any questions about that? That's the channels. Do we have any questions about the channels? Do we have any thoughts on any channels I missed? All right, that's a lot of stuff. All right, so your next step is, what content do you need to create for those channels? So if I'm going to do a radio ad, well, I better write a radio ad. If I'm going to do a billboard, I'm going to have to design a billboard. So part of your marketing plan is, what content do I need? If you're going to do social media ads, you're going to have to design those, right? So you're going to figure out what content you need, and you're going to add these to a quarterly content development list. So you want to create your content by quarter, because that way you have a lot of time to move stuff around when you get busy. The more marketing you do, the busier you're going to be. The less marketing you do, the less busy you're going to be. That's why in lean times, when we pull back on our marketing, our business just slams on the brakes because the pipeline dries up. So we want to plan our quarter one content should be created in quarter four. Quarter two content should be created in quarter one. You should always stay a full quarter ahead on your content. That way when you have to shift things because your kid gets sick or you have 5 listings at one time and you don't have time to do stuff, you have enough time to move things around and still get your work done. The other thing I want to remind you of while we're on the schedule your content slide is it's so important that you keep the meetings you set with yourself. Agents have a great rate of showing up for meetings that they plan with me. Like, I think I've had 3 agents bail on me in an entire decade of meetings planned. You guys always show up. You're very good about, I have set a meeting with a professional, we're gonna meet, I'm gonna show up. But you set a meeting with yourself to work on content, you'll blow that meeting off for anything. Literally anything. Like, oh, look, a fly. I can't possibly work on content right now, there's a fly in here, you know? It's really important that you respect the meetings you set with yourself. And that's my big, my challenge to you for your new year, what you can change in your business, is to respect your own time as much as you respect the time of other professionals, and put your plans on your calendar and stick with it. Make your content. Every agent I meet with, when we talk about content, they're like, I just don't have time. I just don't have time to create content. Yes, you do. You have time. You just need to be strategic about it, put it on the calendar, and do it when you say you're gonna do it. So the next step is establish your plan for monthly mailers to your sphere. You don't have to send monthly mailers to your sphere, but it's a great tactic. You also want to absolutely send monthly mailers to your farm. If you're farming, monthly mailers are non-negotiable part of that tactic. ExpressDocs is you literally can't see anything on the screen that I'm saying right now. Has it been this way this whole time?
No.
Huh. There it goes. Okay, cool.
PowerPoint's a great thing, isn't it?
I hate those things are so retro. Anyway, so ExpressDocs. ExpressDocs is a great tool. It prints and mails your postcards for you. You don't ever even touch them. You go from your computer, you do the thing, and it takes care of it from there. So it's a really great tool. You're gonna find it at seacoasttools.com. You might notice that there's also a ExpressDocs at CB Desk. Don't go to that one. Go to the one at seacoasttools.com. We have infrastructure set up to support you through that one. We can access your account. We can help you from there. So this is what it looks like when you log in. The first thing I want to bring to your attention here is you see these ones with the little pink banner that say XD Plus right there? Stay out of those. Those are subscription services. I keep getting agents calling me and they're like, why do I suddenly have to pay for ExpressDocs? I'm like, oh, because you clicked the subscription one. Stay out of there. You don't need to do that. They're not cost effective. They're cost effective for them. They're a great capitalist program. So we're gonna X out of that. We're not even gonna look at those. We have 2 options here that I really love. One is upload your own design. If you are one of those agents who loves Canva and creating your own stuff, or if you work with a professional who's building out stuff for you, ExpressDocs is a great option to ship and mail, or print and mail your postcards. All you have to do is upload your own design. You'll notice when you're actually on your computer and it's not so teeny weeny, there's a question mark box in the upper right hand corner. If you hover over that question mark, there's a phone number. They say, give us a call. They have really, really good reps. They're very high service program. If you're doing upload your own design for the first time, call them. They will walk you through it and make sure the layout is correct so it prints properly. Super important. The personal marketing category is awesome. There is so much good stuff in here that if you're not designing your own content, you really don't need to be. It's all like really high quality, attractive stuff, lots of different feels to it, lots of different vibes. This is what it looks like when you click into it. You can't quite see my favorite part, which is the sports schedules. You can pull sports schedules for baseball, basketball, hockey, football, That would, if, I'm a licensed agent, but I don't sell, I only do this. If I were an active agent, that would be a huge part of my strategy, because I'm a diehard baseball fan. It would be a big part of what I do, because that's part of my brand. My kid's named after Cal Ripken. Most of us are probably old enough to remember Cal Ripken. So the baseball one would be huge for me. If you're a huge football fan, what a great thing to send out. People put them on their fridge, and it has your headshot on it. They're always gonna remember you and have your contact info there. So it's like sending out a business card with like a big personal thing on it. So I think that's really cool. There's also a lot of holiday cards. You can do Christmas cards, Halloween cards, Groundhog Day cards, all that fun stuff is in there. There's also recipes, which is a nice soft touch to like your farm or your sphere of influence. But there's also, this is buried in here. It's in the personal marketing section. Like I said, it's called real estate related. Do not sleep on this category. I don't know why they don't have its own tile on the front page. So you click personal marketing, then you click real estate related, it's gonna take you here. My two favorite postcards live in here. I have buyers for a home in your area, and what is your home worth? Killer postcards, both of them have a place for a QR code. In fact, most of these have a place for a QR code. So you can bring people into your digital universe from your print marketing, very powerful stuff. There's cute stuff, like there's a squirrel on a fence that are you on the fence about selling a house? There's some silly nonsense. There's a lot of just listeds and just solds in here that are a little more stylized and have places for QR codes. All of them have your headshot and contact info on them, and they're all just well-designed, neat, clean designs. So you don't need to be out there being a graphic designer. It's not worth your time when all this stuff is in here. So check that out. Our office admins, most of our office admins are trained on this. If they're not, we can get them trained on it. So this stuff is all available to you guys. Do you have any questions about that, about Express Docs? Printed and mailed for you. They can mail this to a radius around a subject property, like they pull the radius, or you can upload your sphere of influence list or any database list. Maybe you have a farming list you've been working with, you can upload that list in there, send your cards to it. Really cool tactic.
I have a question about the radius thing.
Yep.
So I actually looked into that. Will they do just the residents, or when they pull their radius, they pull all addresses in that?
It goes to the addresses, so it's gonna go to whoever's at the address. So if it's a renter, the renter's gonna get it.
Right, so it don't include like any commercial buildings. I did a large.
Oh, yes, it does residences,
It
yeah.
just does, okay.
Yep. As I understand it, I can check on that though and make sure, but it should be doing residential addresses. Yeah. Any other questions about that?
Also, sorry,
Go ahead.
will Express Docs know whether that is like vacant, occupied, damaged home, even in use, like?
They work directly with the US Postal Service with their lists, and they vet the list. Like if you upload a list, it'll give you like, this is a bad address, or this is a maybe address. So I think that they do, so if the Postal Service has stopped sending mail to that address, they won't send mail there. If post office is still sending there, they'll still send there.
Thank you.
Yeah, anything else? That's good questions. Okay, so this is, I just wanna tell you where you can get a QR code. So, a lot of people are out there paying for QR codes, which is hilarious because it's free and it's right here. So if you come into Client Bay, it actually used to be in a menu, but people are using it so much they moved it out of the menu. It's just here on the left, it says QR codes. Click where it says QR codes. So there's two different kinds. One is the website, that's what you're used to. You scan the code, you tap it, it takes you to the website, right? But the other one is a text message. So it's really, really, really cool. I love this tactic and I don't see a ton of people doing it. So the way it works is, let's say I'm doing an open house, and I'm gonna do an open house flyer with a QR code that says, learn more about 123 Main Street. I'm gonna go door knock, I'm gonna leave those flyers at all the houses. What happens is when they scan that code, it pops up their messenger app to my phone number with a message already typed in that says, tell me more about 123 Main Street. All they have to do is click send. There is no faster speed to lead than a person texting you and you texting them back. I mean, that's the fastest you can possibly get. So it's a very strong tactic. I see people using this with charity organizations. I see people using this with listings, with what is your home worth even. I love what is your home worth going to our what is your home worth pages because they're built for that. But it's also super cool to have a postcard that says, tap here to find out what your home is worth, and they text you and say, I'd like to know what my home is worth. It's so powerful. So think about that as a way to get really creative with QR codes that people aren't seeing as much of, so it makes you look ultra savvy at the same time. Questions on that?
Will like their information connected to that phone number, like a name?
No,
Or
it
like
literally
when
just
you-
sends you a text message.
Just
Like
a
it's
text
literally, it opens their app to whatever phone number you put in, which should be yours, and then you get a text just like anybody in the world texting you. All right, so one more thing about Express Docs. If you click Programs in the top blue bar there, this drop down will appear. Click APM. APM stands for Automated Property Marketing. Part of your marketing plan should be establishing how am I going to promote properties. Automated property marketing takes care of your print marketing for you. it pulls it in from the MLS. So this program is tied to the MLS, and what happens is anytime you have a listing and a marketing event, it's going to create templated content for you. Marketing events are just listed, just sold, price adjustment, and open house. So for every just listed, just sold, price adjustment, and open house you have with a listing, it's going to generate postcard, flyer, brochure, image download, and social media post. It's all in there. It's already all built out. All you have to do is tap on which ones you want, edit them accordingly. Like you might want to pick a different picture, or you probably definitely want to shorten the verbiage. It's going to pull in your whole novel from the MLS details. You're going to want to cut that down. But that's it. And then it just is going to send to a radius around the subject property for your postcards. The flyers you can download at zero cost. Image download, zero cost. Social media posts, I think you can download for zero cost. And the brochures are beautiful. So if you have a higher end home and gorgeous photography, order a bunch of brochures. They're awesome for open houses, they're great for broker opens, but they're also really good for the subsequent listing presentations to show examples of your marketing. Any questions about that? When you guys get into APM for the first time, it's very simple. I'm sending you guys a video to show you how to do APM for a postcard. And it's the same for anything. It's the same if you do a brochure or a flyer or anything else, okay? All right, onward. Brainstorm reasons to reach out and touch your sphere and farm throughout the year. So this is part of your annual plan, is just figuring out how am I going to reach out to people? What am I going to touch them on? So things like holidays, national days of seasonal topics, home care, and security tips. So like, don't forget to check your smoke detector batteries and when we do the time change, or hey, summer's coming, get your HVAC service before June because there's going to be 7,000 people waiting in line if you wait till a 90-degree day in June to figure out your AC doesn't work, right? It's a helpful message. The goal is to be synonymous with the concept of home in the mind of everybody you know. You got to be the guy who's got a guy. Everybody needs their clients to think of them as the person who can give them help and service with their homes. So these little touches that seem like fluff are actually creating this mental connection between you and home with your clients, your sphere, and your farm. I also love the National Days calendar. It is an awesome way to use trending topics to show off your personal brand. Like me, National Scotch Day, without question, I'd be like, meet me at the pub, I'll buy your first drink, it's National Scotch Day. It's so easy and so dumb, but that post will get seen by so many people because I use hashtag National Scotch Day. Or you can do big campaigns. I talk in almost every class about National Black Dog Day. Black dogs are statistically less likely to be adopted. So I'd do a campaign. I'd spend a month saying, bring stuff to my office for National Black Dog Day, and we're going to, on National Black Dog Day, take it down to the shelter. And you can turn that into a massive campaign with social media advertising and postcards and like a true investment, because it will get traffic and it will grow your business. And at the end of the day, you're the agent who loves puppies. So the other people who love puppies feel warmer about you because of that. So if you're looking for a campaign to do that with, check out the National Days calendar. There are like 10 things for every single day. If you can't find anything in there you care about, you might not care about anything. Just saying. So check that out. Call me if you need help strategizing on a tactic. That's what I'm here for. Come up with at least one fun campaign that highlights something about you. So whether it's, a military related thing or an animal related thing or National Scotch Day, it's just something fun and different that shows people who you are. Develop a set and forget drip campaign in your CRM to touch your sphere once a month with content of value. So that's just like having a newsletter, right? But a holiday campaign is going to be date specific. It's a great way to get comfortable with your CRM. Setting up drip campaigns is a big part of how we use a CRM to our advantage. And holiday campaigns are a great way to do it because you can sit down in one day, you know when the holidays are, they're on the calendar, right? You can look this up, you can set that all up before the first of the year, and they're just gonna fly. If you're using ClientBay, you can actually set things to go out. Instead of date specific, you can send them holiday specific. So I can say, instead of, when is Thanksgiving like the 27th this year? See, I don't know, but I can say, have it send on Thanksgiving. Then it'll send on Thanksgiving every year, even though it's a moving date, like Mother's Day. It's a moving date, you can just have it sent on Mother's Day. You can also add your clients' birthdays and transaction anniversary. It'll pull it from their details. So then they're gonna get, you just put birthday in there, and then every person on their birthday gets the birthday message. So a holiday campaign is a great way to get comfortable with your CRM and spend a day just in there learning how to do it with content that is easy to develop because it's holiday related. Any questions about that? Okay. Then we're gonna plan our annual client appreciation party. The when, the where, the who, and the what. Seacoast will match your spend up to $500. Don't leave that money on the table, it's crazy. Too many of us think we have to do this around the holidays for some crazy reason, which, like, my God, is everybody booked up every single weekend between now and the new year? Because I know I am. This is a terrible time to have a client appreciation party, I feel. But lots of people do it. But I think have it in the summer. Everybody's happier, there's more sunshine. It's, I would rather do it in the spring or summer. You can have it anytime you want. It can be any theme you want. It can be indoor, it can be outdoor, it can be formal, it can be mellow, it can be a dinner, it can be no food, whatever. Just bring your people together. The main reason is not seeing the people on that day. If you have a really successful party, you're gonna have 15 seconds with each person and not remember any of the day, right? But it's the touches leading up to and after that make it a strong marketing tactic. So you send an RSVP digital, or I'm sorry, you send a save the date digitally. You send a invitation through the mail. Then either they RSVP or they didn't, and you call them. So it's 3 touches already. We haven't even got to the day yet. Then they come to the party. If they didn't come to the party, we're gonna call and say, I really missed you, and by the way, I have a gift basket for you, or a gift bag for you from the event. I'd love to stop by your house and bring it to you. That's fine. Then we took pictures at the event. I post them on Facebook. I tag the person. That's 6. That's 6 touches from one event. If we throw an event, if like, let's say today I decide I'm gonna throw an event next weekend, I've screwed myself out of all the marketing opportunities associated with it. If I plan it before the year starts, I'm strategic, now I have an opportunity to get every one of those touches and really leverage them for my business, whether they come to the party or not, okay? If you're having a party, call me. I have an extensive background in event planning. It's part of being a freelance marketing professional. I'm big on helping you guys save money on that, not spending where it's not gonna have an impact, and I can just kinda help you get your head around how to do that. So give me a shout. Questions about the party? All right. Is your bio and headshot up to date? Audit all your platforms and profiles, make sure they're consistent. So we got Facebook, LinkedIn, SeacoastRealty.com. SeacoastRealty.com profile pulls from Client Bay. So does all of our agent recognition content. So if you're a top producer or a best of the best and you see that graphic and you're like, where'd you get that picture? Excuse me, our automation got it from Client Bay. So make sure that's up to date. If you need help updating that, shoot me an email or IT can update it for you. Coldwell Banker's stuff is updated through a back-end program that you don't have access to. So you gotta get IT to do that. Just send them your headshot and bio, they will update it for you, and that will pull into all Coldwell Banker products, including Moxie and all that stuff, okay? Then don't forget about Zillow and Realtor.com. Don't forget about our Seacoast tools. ExpressDocs has a place to upload your profile or your headshot. That way it will pull into every template you work with, so you don't have to be adding it every time. Testimonial Tree has a place for that. That's gonna be in the video I'm sending you today. How many of us use the buyer follow-up program? This is a killer program, okay? It is an absolute no-brainer. It sends 5 years of content after every buyer you close. You pay half at closing, which I think is like $18. If you can't part with $18 at closing, we need to discuss your budget because it's a mess, okay? We need to be able to part with that $18 for 5 years of content. The problem is most of us have the headshot in there from when we started with the company because we don't think to update it. So get into your buyer follow-up program account and update your headshot there. If you're using From Your Friends, which it's a Cape Fear region program, so it's more Wilmington market stuff. We are very close to Wilmington, y'all. People come from Jacksonville to Wilmington for all kinds of stuff, so I would use this program if I were y'all. The first 100 mailed cards are free, so if you've never used it, check it out, but it does also have a place for a headshot. Do we have any teams in here besides Ellen and Joe? Team, okay, so if you're on a team, make sure you send your team photo to marketing, because we maintain the database of team photos that are used for agent recognition and that kind of thing. So make sure we have that if you have a team photo. Send that to marketing. If you need a bio, click here. We have a Seacoast Instant for that. It uses AI and automation to write a bio for you. You fill out a form, and it spits it into a prompt that I wrote, and it gives you a bio. If you aren't strong with writing, email me that bio, because AI is not a great writer. AI is a great start, but a human needs to tweak it. So if you're not comfortable doing that, email it to me. I'm happy tweaking that for you and just getting it where it needs to be optimized and sound like a human being wrote it. If you guys can't tell, I hate AI. I think it's awful. I'm a writer. It hurts my feelings. But it's a really good start. It's a really good kind of gets you down the road. Okay? Any questions about your profiles? All right. 2 times per year, I want you to mail a home valuation offer to your neighborhood and your farm. Everybody in your life should know that you can help them understand the value of their home. Not in the context of, I want you to sell it. In the context of, I am your partner and professional in this industry to help you protect your asset. So they know that they have enough insurance on their home, so they understand their equity. We need people to stop thinking of us as salespeople. Too many people think that agents take 6%, put it in our pocket, and go buy a Lexus, right? We know we're not doing that. We don't even get 6%. It's not even close to 6% when we take home, right? But they don't understand that. So we need to help them understand that what we're doing is not just trying to take money from a closing. What we're doing is being their partner. If you think about what a realtor really does in offering service, it's not unlike a nutritionist, a personal trainer, a financial analyst. They're the people that someone goes to in their life when they want to excel at something at which they are not an expert. You are their real estate expert, so you need to help them protect their asset. If you can frame it in that way and make sure that you are giving home valuations annually, your business will boom. It is proven that 1 in 3 real estate reviews results in a transaction. So either the person's like, listed, all right, or they refer you because now you're top of mind as a real estate professional to them. It's a really quick road to being top of mind as that professional. So offer these valuations, work on it, get fast at it. The faster you are at, the higher the ROI is. Because it doesn't cost you anything to do, but it does cost time. So the better and faster you are at doing a CMA, the more transactions will roll from it. I guarantee if you continue to offer home valuations, your business will grow and grow and grow through that. You'll also become a stronger realtor in many ways. You're constantly pulling comps. You're constantly looking at the value of different things as the market changes. It makes you a killer agent as time goes by without having to do like boring homework stuff. Any questions about that? Okay, so that's your whole annual plan. That's your homework. That's everything you need to do before the year begins, okay? So when you're looking through these slides, through slide 21 is your homework before Jan 1. Now we're gonna look at your quarter. Every quarter you're gonna review your annual marketing plan. You're gonna look at all the stuff you planned out, identify which content projects should be addressed this quarter to serve your plans for next quarter, block time to complete those projects. The next thing you're gonna do is update and practice your listing presentation every quarter. Too many of us are not doing this. Too many of us are dusting off an old listing presentation and just hauling it up to the house. The market is changing and it's changing fast. Days on market are increasing everywhere I teach. There's not one place I'm walking into a building where days on market aren't on the rise. If that's not expressed in your listing presentation, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're dealing with a client with unfair expectations. And it's gonna get you fired. The next agent's not gonna be able to do any better, but then it's too late. So if you set the right expectations from the start, you're working with a better educated partner in the process and you're gonna be able to keep that listing. So that's really important. But you also need to be practicing so that you know what you're gonna say next. If you don't know what the next slide is, you're doing yourself a disservice. So it's just like when I'm teaching you guys. I need to be paying attention to where y'all are at with me. If y'all are glazing over, I'm like, all right, I need to slow down or back up or tell a joke or something, ask a question, because I'm losing you. That will happen in a listing presentation. You'll lose them. Maybe it's too many numbers and they're not a numbers person and they're just gone. Or maybe it's been too long. Or maybe they're getting really nervous about what their home valuation might be and you need to get to the jump, right? If you are so worried about what you're gonna say next, you're gonna miss every little bit of body language that's telling you that story. If you know what you're gonna say next cold, you can be busy consuming what they're telling you with their eyes and their body and how they're sitting and all of that. So be paying attention to your person, but you gotta know your stuff. This is a link to a full Moxie Present training. I have stopped giving you guys full length training because I look at the data and y'all don't watch them. You watch the first 20 minutes and then you bail, which sucks. But this one, I promise you, is worth your time to watch the whole one. I literally cannot teach a condensed version of this class because it does so many things and this walks you through every click. It shows you every single way to use the tool. What it does listing presentations with a full CMA built in. The CMA tool is linked to the MLS and updates every 15 minutes. So if 2 of your comps closed overnight and you don't know it, it's still gonna reflect in your presentation. And the thing is, if they're in the neighborhood of your client, they might know that and you might not know that. And it's still gonna show in your presentation. You're not gonna be caught not knowing, not having updated that stuff. Also, you just don't have to update that stuff. Everything pulls straight from the MLS into that CMA. So that's really cool. But it also looks really slick. It gets you the heck out of PowerPoint. It's just a very modern, excellent tool. Everything's built into it. So it does the listing presentations. It also does buyer presentations, which is something that really elevates your business. If you're working with a high-end buyer, you need to woo them. You need to win them and show them that you're a kick-ass professional who's going to support them, not just throw them some sheets from the MLS, which is what too many agents do. There's also buyer tours in there. So a lot of us, especially if you're working like Swansboro or other beach markets in our area, you get people coming down here and they're like, okay, I'm gonna be down here for 3 days. I wanna look at 45 homes. You're like, no. But I can put those 45 homes on a buyer tour. You can look at them all in this digital program. You can give me feedback right in the tool. You can star rate the houses. You can put notes on different photos. You can say like, hate the garage, but love the pool. All of that stuff just comes to your email. There's nobody logging into anything. You send them the digital presentation, they click the link, they're looking at it. No logins, no websites, nothing. And when they give you feedback, you just get emailed. Your client gave you feedback on this property. It's an awesome way to work with somebody, especially I know a lot of us in the military market are working with folks out of town anyway, and especially even more in those vacation markets where there's lots of homes they want to look at. So don't sleep on this training. I really want you to set aside an hour sometime to take a look at that. Questions about Moxie Present? Okay. If you are one of our best of the best, you're going to get a graphic every quarter. Make sure you're following the Seacoast Facebook page. If you make best of the best, share your graphic from the Seacoast page. Don't copy it and paste it yourself. What happens is if you copy that graphic and paste it on your Facebook, it looks like you made it. That's weird. Don't make your own stuff, right? You want a giant company saying this person's awesome. When you share it, our company name comes with it. It shows that we posted it for you, okay? You can add it to your newsletter, put it in a listing presentation, or add it to a mailer. Best of the best of a company our size is huge. It's a very important thing. You also want to analyze your marketing from the previous quarter, measuring KPI and ROI. KPI is key performance indicators. A key performance indicator of an email campaign might be open rate. But if there's a video in your email and they need to click it to watch it, open rate doesn't matter because they didn't watch the video just because they opened it. So I have to look at my click rate. So KPI is relevant to specific tactics. I don't expect you guys to be data analysts or marketing professionals. It's not your job. It's my job. What I want you to do is track things. If you can just put together a spreadsheet where you have every tactic. I did a pumpkin drop off for Halloween. I put 20 pumpkins on porches and 6 people texted me about it. That's all. Just track everything. Every single thing you do, put it in a spreadsheet and just take notes on each thing. If you can do that, I can help you turn the wrenches and make every marketing quarter stronger than the one before. I have a ton of agents I literally have a standing meeting with every quarter where we go through their spreadsheet and analyze their tactics. Every one of them is getting so good at it that they're not going to need me. They're learning how to turn those wrenches themselves and understand what the data means and how to have that inform on their future content. So I'm here to teach you that. I'm here to hold your hand through that, but I can't dream it up. I've got to see a spreadsheet. I've got to see the stuff. I got to know what you're doing. So if you can track it, I can help you make it perform better each quarter. Okay? Questions on that? Right. Monthly. That's it for quarterly. Okay? Not too much we need to do on the quarter. Monthly, social media is your big monthly thing. We don't plan our social media for the whole year. Theoretically, you could, right? Most of the stuff you could chart on a calendar. The problem with social media is that the world moves fast and it moves through social media. You need to have kind of an idea what's coming so you can slam on the brakes if something weird happens. If there's a massive national tragedy and you have a super silly post scheduled for the next day, you're gonna wanna pull that down so you don't look tone deaf. If you scheduled it in January and we're sitting here in November, you don't know that post is coming, okay? That's one of the main reasons we do monthly, so that we have kind of a fresh concept of what's coming out at any given time so we can pivot accordingly, so we can adjust accordingly. Social Bay is a killer platform for this. Y'all, I have turned down so many automated social media posting programs for this company over the last decade. They're all terrible. This one's awesome. It is so good at what it does. First of all, it plots all of your stuff on the calendar for a month so that you can go in and edit it. You can make the post sound like you and take down posts that you don't feel like you. It's not just a flow of posts to your social, it's scheduling it to a calendar where you can then work with it and fill in the gaps. It's also localized. There's a whole section of stuff that pulls local restaurants, local businesses, so it's gonna make it feel a little more relevant to the market. It's still automated content, y'all. It's still not as good as what you would post yourself. But what I have learned working with realtors for a long time is that most of you can't be bothered to do it. We're just not doing social, at least not doing it to the extent that you need to have a well-populated page full of content. So I would turn on the automatic posting through this program, Social Bay, auto content, get in there and set your defaults. This is all training. So the first one is intro. It's a 2-minute intro that just tells you what the tool does, what you need to know. The second one is listings and listing automation, then content automation and platforms, lead generation and landing pages, and then I have a little bonus training here at the bottom. This is just set up your what is your homework landing page. So maybe you're about to send a postcard that QR code links to your what is your homework landing page, and you're like, shoot, I forgot to watch all those Social Bay trainings. I don't know how to do this. At least watch that 5-minute training. What it's gonna show you is how to set that up, how you can personalize it, but most importantly, how you can turn off the automatic valuation. I don't want your clients getting a number from a computer about what their home is worth that you then have to compete with. I don't care if that number is too high or too low, you're still gonna look wrong when you come at them with that. So it's like, why did you send me a wrong number and now you're coming and telling me it's wrong? I hate that tactic. So this tool allows you to turn it off. So they just get an email that says, hey, I got your request, and is there anything you'd like to tell me? And you can in fact write whatever you want in the email, or you can use their auto-generated one. So watch the 5-minute training if you don't watch anything else before you use the what is your homework pages. Any question about that? Yes?
I love getting on Canva. I probably, that's what I spend too much time on,
Oops.
screwing around 11 o'clock at night making Canva posts. And thank you for all of you that laugh at them. So my question is, like, I have a business page and I have my normal page, right? And
Yes.
exactly right, crickets on my business page.
Mm-hmm.
From all the reading I've done, it says try to post 2 or 3 times a day. Well, that's just straight up boring. Nobody wants to see 3 real estate posts a day. So I try it on like my personal page. I do like, hey, under contract, or hey, I should be sleeping beauty for Halloween. What's your take on that?
That's a great question. I don't want to get too much depth on it because that's a big topic, but I'll tell you what we've learned. You are absolutely right that the optimal flow of content is, believe it or not, 3 to 5 posts a day. Where you're wrong is the boring of it, because the algorithm decides who sees what, right? So if let's say you're a professional content creator and all you do is manage a business page and you're not actually doing real estate, 3 to 5 posts a day is the correct flow, and the algorithm decides who sees what. So they're never going to see 3 to 5 posts, which is why 3 to 5 posts is optimal. However, I have learned through a ton of data analysis in this industry for professionals who actually sell homes and deal with clients, 1 post per day is optimal, because you're posting a lot of garbage if you're trying to post 3 to 5 times a day. That's what we've learned, because we're just trying to get stuff out. We're gonna post a bunch of crap, and then one of those posts might be good. So I want your like top shelf, like I'm killing this goal to be 1 post a day. 3 to 5 posts a week is non-negotiable. If you're not posting 3 to 5 times a week, get off of Facebook. You're not doing it. You're just having crickets, like you said. Now what we do is we post the stuff on our business page and then we share it to our personal. So we're populating our business page, we're creating a body of content, we're creating an archive where people can find us and see what our deal is. Then we're sharing it to our personal, where the algorithm is actually gonna serve it to our humans. And then now what kind of content, right? So our business page should be 80% non-promotional, which means 20% of it can be just listed, just sold, open house, please give me a review, any of that. The other 80% is real estate industry content, not call me today, but here's what's happening in the market. Here's why you should get pre-approved, any of that stuff. Local content. It is as important to be a local expert as it is to be an industry expert, especially in this market, y'all. I come from a military family. My mom was a brat who lived all over the world. Her best friends everywhere she ever lived were the agents, because they're the first people they meet and the people who take them everywhere. You guys are so important to military families, and being able to be a local expert and showing that on your social is really gonna speak to people. So real estate content, local content, home content, that stuff about called HVAC, all that, and then personal. Who are you? What's your deal? Why would I like you? Why should I trust you? We're leaving that off of our business pages. I would say 95% of agents don't have enough of that. The only time I see their face is their headshot. You need social proof. We need to know you exist. We need to know what you look like and what your deal is. Why should I like you? For the gentleman, it's also, am I gonna be safe looking at homes with you? I don't wanna get serial killered, right? So we need like you with other people, you with your dog, you with the office, so we know you're not a scammer or a fake or a murderer, right? So that's kind of that in a nutshell. Does that answer your question?
It does. You hear that, Evan?
Yes.
Tammy, you had a question?
I do. We have Al has like the automated content going to our office page.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the posts that come up, I'm like, it has nothing to do with our area.
Mhm.
Or like one of the posts that we had recently was talking about local eateries.
Mm-hmm.
And it posed the question, what do you think about Waffle House?
Chocolate Krispy
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Sweet Cheddars. I
is
don't
there a way to, like, to me, if it's gonna post something about a local eatery, it'd be like a mom and pop eatery.
Well, it's automation doing that. It's literally going to Yelp and whatnot and just pulling names. It's computers creating that stuff.
So there's no way
So
to,
no,
like,
the way you
do that.
optimize that is checking your calendar on the day that it lands and removing anything you don't think is relevant and replacing with something you do feel is relevant.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? Great questions. All right, so the other thing we want to do is supplement that auto content with other stuff. And if you don't know what to post, which a lot of people are like, I have no idea what to post. We have a content calendar. It comes out once a month from Mary Catherine, the lovely Mary Catherine in marketing. If you haven't met her, she's a freaking doll. She's very good at this stuff. It's at seacoasttools.com, and it also comes to your email, once a month. It has a prompt for every day. Every single day it says something. So it'll be like, it's International Coffee Day, post about your favorite coffee shop, or give a real estate tip, talk about a frequently asked question, post a review. So it's gonna be all like best practice posts. Every single day there's a prompt. And the reason we do prompts is so you guys aren't all posting the exact same thing every single day, right? They're prompts, so you get ideas. So just grab a couple of these and add them to your Social Bay calendar. In Social Bay, this button right here, this black button in the top left says create content. You can schedule organic content in Social Bay to post to your social media for you. It's like a one-stop shop. You can do all of your content creation in the tool, and then you can look at it all on the calendar at one time. That's very powerful. All right, so next.
Make something on Canva and
Yep.
put it in your.
Yeah, because when you do the create content, you can do image, link, or video. So you can upload whatever you want. Yep. There's also a design studio in there where you can create the stuff right in Social Bay, and that's modeled after Canva. So if you're paying for Canva, I recommend spending some time in Design Studio. You might decide you don't need to pay for Canva anymore. This is our property sold chart. We are #1 in every market. We are killing it. Remember this for listing presentations especially. When people list, they list with a company in North Carolina, not an agent, right? They're listing with Seacoast. Why not show them that we are the #1 company? That's who they want to list with. So if you need help winning a listing presentation, this is going to help. It's also great for reminding your sphere you're an agent. Our marketing director, Kathy Alexander, emails these out every month. They're also available at Seacoast Tools. Another monthly thing we do is top producers. If you're a top producer for your office, you got a graphic, so don't sleep on that. Share it from the Seacoast Facebook page. That's a live link to the Facebook page. If you don't follow it, make sure you follow it. And go to the page and like and comment on some stuff. That'll trigger the algorithm to start feeding our posts to you. Most of what we post, in fact, everything we post is client facing. Our company page is public. So the idea is it's stuff that you guys can share. It's stuff to help strengthen our brand in the marketplace and give you guys content you can share. So for example, like we're not gonna sleep on the Marine's birthday. We're not gonna miss Veterans Day. We're always gonna have a post for that kind of stuff so that you guys can share it.
We didn't sleep on Marine's birthday either.
Never, never ever. Add to your newsletter, put it in your listing presentation, add it to a mailer. All that stuff is good. Develop content via a quarterly planned schedule, shoot videos, create social posts, work on your newsletter. So that's all your just weekly or monthly stuff. So make sure you're creating your content. Make sure you are attending a local event every single month. That's only 12 events a year. You can do that. You can work that into your calendar. You got to get out there. You go with the intention of meeting new people and having fun. That's it. It's just about building and growing relationships. People who go to events just dying to hand out business cards and get their next deal do a crappy job at events. So don't think about that. You're just there to meet people. Don't forget to take pictures and post them and tag people and businesses. So if I go to a networking event at my favorite brewery, I'm gonna post the post the pictures and tag the brewery. Then everybody who follows that brewery sees the realtor who loves the brewery posting, hanging out there. So it makes these connections between you and the places you hang out. On that note, feature a local business, 1 per month. This is another thing you can plan at the beginning of the year. What are the 12 businesses I'm gonna feature? Reach out to some of your favorite local businesses, ask if you can drop by for a quick interview, take photos and shoot a quick video. I can tell you as a longtime freelance marketing professional, small businesses have no marketing budget. They need help. And if you bop in there and go, I would love to shoot a video promoting how much I love your bakery, they'd be like, oh my God, thank you. That's so awesome. You're immediately ingratiated to them. They're happy to support you. They're happy to have your business cards on their counter. And you get to show you're a local expert by promoting great local businesses, extra points if it's a business relevant to real estate. Are they painters? Are they interior designers? Are they roofers? Are they one of our ancillary businesses? Think about your vendors. All right, this one breaks my heart. MarketQuest is currently down. I don't know how many of you have tried to use it and haven't been able to. It's currently not working. They're having a problem with their connection to Hive MLS, which Hive MLS is in like 4 states. So it's a massive problem for this platform. They have told me that they will have this program fixed by Jan 1, which means you should be able to put it in your marketing plan. My promise to you is that if it's not, we are going to have something else in the works for you. We have to provide you guys some kind of way to do market statistic reporting, right? That's part of what we do as your brokerage. So I left the slide in there so I can be fully transparent with you guys about MarketQuest currently not working, but also so I can tell you that we have some things in the works as a company through AI and automation to try to create something in-house like this for you. So stay tuned. And just know that you can say in your marketing plan, I will post monthly market statistics because Honor told me she'd have something for me by January. All right, so stay tuned. You will hear more from either me or IT.
A lot of these,
Huh?
a lot of these you can pull just off of the MLS. and
You
then
can.
create a template.
You
Like,
super
if
can.
if we have this, we're like, okay, they put these 3 things in. It's easy to just have a template ready that
It
you can
super
pull
is.
from.
Yes.
elsewhere.
That is
If
the point she's
worst
making
case
is
scenario,
if you can be bothered to pull the data yourself, it's no problem.
takes 5 minutes.
However, most
Yeah.
people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So MarketQuest, stay tuned. All right, Popeyes. Who is using our Popeye program? Who's getting Popeyes? We love the pop buys. It is such a great opportunity, especially if you are a newer agent. Coldwell Banker is the most recognized name in real estate. When you show up with something with a Coldwell Banker logo on it, you have immediate legitimacy. It's a great way to be legit. But it's also cute stuff. It's great for when you do events. I recommend buying at least a few things every month so you have like a collection of swag for closings, for if you do have a table at an event, if kids come to a showing, that kind of thing. Just having some little stuff makes people think of you. So order them and go pop by. Great for door knocking for open houses. It's a great leave behind. And you can offer a real estate review when you leave stuff behind. That's your monthly tasks. So notice that was much shorter. Your weekly tasks are even fewer. I want you to post 1 to 2 videos per week. We're scheduling them quarterly. We're shooting them monthly. Weekly, we need to post 1 to 2. If you're posting 0 videos, it's gonna be real easy to post more, okay? So try to shoot for 1 to 2 per week. We need to see your face, your voice, and hear you talking about real estate, about homes, about what you do and who you are. Video is absolutely necessary in 2026. Remember, you should be shooting several monthly. Develop your time-sensitive content. Sometimes things come up during the week that you're gonna have to post about. So that's a weekly task. Marketing for new listings. We never know when our next listing will come about. So that ends up hopefully being a weekly task to get in there and do marketing for your listings. Seacoast Instance takes you a long way down the road for this. Has anybody received their property promo packs for listings recently? Sweet. So when you get a listing, we have an automation that's tied to the MLS that within about 24 hours of you putting that listing in, it's gonna send you an email with just listed and just sold flyers, just listed and just sold social media graphics, a link to your single property website, and a QR code that goes to your single property website. All of that comes straight to your email. If you don't love what you got, you can also create your own listing description, property flyer, and social media graphic using AI through our tools. You fill out a form, you upload the photos, it makes the graphics for you. It's super cool. AI and automation for the win. Open houses. If you're doing open houses, make sure you let marketing know by noon on Wednesday by using this form. The form's at seacoasttools.com. The form is linked right here, and Kathy Alexander emails the format every Sunday or Monday. Yeah, we need it by noon on Wednesday. If you haven't submitted it by noon on Wednesday, you're too late to get in our ad because we have to build out the ad, get it approved by Facebook, and get it running before the weekend. So, and we're having like roughly 100 plus open houses a week now, so it's a whole thing. So what we do is your open house is going to be featured on Seacoast social media. It looks like this. Then it's going to be boosted with a paid ad to any city that is holding open houses. So if there are open houses in Jacksonville, the ad will be boosted in Jacksonville. And then it's listed online, so it syndicates to home search sites. So Zillow and any other site that recognizes open house data from the MLS, it will feed over to that. Questions on that? Just a no-cost service from us to you. I want you door knocking your open houses. Every agent I have bullied into door knocking has had a great result from it. Often it takes a lot of bullying because it's a lot of work. But I want to see you guys going door to door and talking to the neighbors. It's the whole reason to do an open house. I am inviting you and every other neighbor, so it looks like a madhouse, to create urgency among buyers. For every dollar over asking we can get for this house, it increases your bottom line equity on your home. So come on down and help me help you. That is a kick-ass script. It's killer. It shows how savvy you are. It shows that your engagement in that community serves the entire community. Once again, it's not about putting a sign in the yard, taking 6% and buying a Lexus, right? So we're gonna door knock for our open houses. This is weekly activity. Another weekly activity is checking in with each of your active sellers. You know what the #1 complaint of sellers is according to the NAR?
I don't hear from my agent.
I never hear from my agent. Even my mother had that complaint. I was like, Mom, she's talking to me. But you know what? They all wanna hear from their agent every 45 seconds. Now that days on market are continuing to increase, this becomes ever more important, okay? We need to be doing these touches, voice-to-voice and face-to-face touches with our sellers at least once a week. What's going on? What can we do? What can we change to get the wheels moving? Professional development is also a weekly task. You guys have officially knocked that out for your Tuesday. Attend a training, watch a tutorial, have a coaching meeting with your BIC, read or listen to a professional development publication, learn a new tool, watch a Moxie Present training that's in these slides. Any of those things can be a great weekly activity. Just pick one thing a week. You will become a stronger professional every single week. Just one little thing. That's it for weekly. Now we got daily. Call time is your most important daily task. You guys work on the weekends. You're doing open houses. You're taking people on showings. You get to pick when your weekend is. Maybe it's Tuesday and Wednesday. But I want you to take 5 days a week, whichever 5 days you so choose, and set them aside to make at least 5 to 10 contacts with your sphere, past clients, FSBOs, or expireds. 5 to 10 contacts, not 5 to 10 calls. They have to pick up and talk to you for it to count as one, okay? So 5 to 10, spend an hour talking to the people. Remember that we have a relocation department that serves nationwide. So if you're new in town, you don't have locals, doesn't matter. Call your friends out of town. And if you need a list, let's say, you know what, I'm a super introvert, I've never talked to another human in my entire life, I got nobody to call, you're still not off the hook. You can email IT and they will give you a list. You can get FSBOs and expireds or circle dialing. So let's say you're sitting in an open house, you can circle dial in a radius around that open house. IT will send you a list, all the numbers are checked against the do not call registry, so they're safe to call. So I don't care if you don't know anybody in the world, you can still spend an hour on the phone 5 days a week. Questions? This will change your business, by the way. If you're not already doing this, this alone will amp up your production for next year. Follow up on existing leads, check on appointments. If you don't have any appointments, like today, if you don't have an appointment today, more call time. If you want to get out of call time, call somebody to have lunch. Never eat lunch alone in this business. FSBOs and expireds and other prospecting is a great way to spend that call time. Check your CRM for to-dos, do administrative tasks, and engage with your sphere on social media. So every day, at the end of the day, put your feet up, watch some Netflix, and scroll through your socials and engage with the people. But the pro tip is, remember to leverage the information you've discovered on social in real life. Which means if you find out on social it's somebody's birthday, pick up the phone and call them and say happy birthday. The funny thing is I've been teaching that tactic for years and my phone blew up all day on my birthday last weekend with agents. Like, you told me to call you, happy birthday. It was pretty funny, all day on a Saturday. So call the people. If you see that one of your friends' kids just graduated, call them. They posted it because they want attention about it or they wouldn't have posted it. So when you take the time to call instead of just being one of the 500 likes on that post, you immediately create a very powerful connection with that person. You are engaging with somebody that they purposely threw out there to get your engagement. So call, pick up the phone and call. Social media is a great way to do the recon to use for real life touches, okay? If you're not gonna call, at least comment a whole sentence. Not cute, but oh my God, that baby's adorable. Like, post something real, engage with the people, okay? That's all I've got for you guys today. Do you have any other questions? All right, yes?
Hashtag, no hashtag.
Oh, good question. Okay, so hashtags are kind of misunderstood. What hashtags do is make something searchable. So early in the days of like early Twitter and whatnot, if I were like, best latte in town, hashtag latte, it's gonna make that post searchable with all the other latte related content, right? So people ran with that and started using them a whole ton. And it sort of killed the relevancy of it. And now hashtags are kind of considered cringe depending on who you ask, but there are still ways you can really leverage them. There's two main ways in our industry. One is trending hashtags. So most trending things we stay away from because they're not relevant to our industry and they're usually divisive. But National Days of are a great example. So hashtag National Black Dog Day is gonna make all of my content lifted in the algorithm on National Black Dog Day because it's trending. So any national day of, any holiday, you wanna use whatever hashtag for that holiday because it's gonna elevate your content. Then there's the concept of unique hashtags to group your own content. You see this a lot at weddings and events. Like for example, at my wedding, it was Run, Honor, and Cherish. We had a big sign at the front that said, if you post any pictures today, use the hashtag Run, Honor, and Cherish. And what that did was, you could click it and see all the other posts from that day. So I could then collect them and see all the pictures that people took at my event. It's great when you hold your client appreciation event, by the way. Come up with a little thing and put it at the front door. You can also do it for like, let's say I wanted to do Honors Motivation Monday. And every Monday I'm gonna make a motivational video. I can hashtag it Honors Motivation Monday, and then they can click it and see all of my motivational posts in one place. So that is how you would use hashtags. We try to use it in like, who's old enough to remember what keyword stuffing is? With yeah. So what you used to do on the internet is you would shove all the words that were relevant to a thing just somewhere on the page. So I'd be like, homes in Jacksonville, Jacksonville real estate, shove it all in there. That became obsolete like 10 years ago because the spiders got smart and they learned how to read content and they saw strings of keywords and went not relevant. It needs to actually be relevant information. So then we started writing what's called anchor content, building out pages of words that are relevant that include the keywords. So it's the same thing with hashtags. If you just use like realtor Jacksonville, blah, 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 it doesn't do anything. Also because people aren't using like Facebook to search realtor Jacksonville. So you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, they might do that on Instagram.
Maybe, less and less though.
Okay.
Less and less, yeah. With art, it's way more relevant in art. Like, if you're a tattoo artist and you tag black and white tattoo, absolutely, that's still a very, very relevant tactic, because it's getting your stuff out in front of more people. In a relationship industry, not so much, because people just don't search for professionals that way. Any other questions? All right, well, thanks for coming, you guys. Let me know if you want a one-on-one meeting. All you have to do is email me. I'll send you my calendar link. You can drop a meeting right into my calendar.
Before you leave, I have a card going around for Alex's birthday this weekend, if you would sign it for me, that would be great.
Al.
Al?
Oh, absolutely.
I love him.
Nobody wants to drive. I don't even want to drive.
It was, man.
Not even close to that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a commute. I actually love the days I come here because the commute is so well.
Yeah.
Everybody's up.
I'll write it down.
Yep. Great. So we're pretty email
I'm still gonna give him provisional status.
before I leave, because otherwise I'll forget. So yeah, very soon. Momentarily, yep.
You got yours?
I told y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I was gone for 2 months.
I got them for $5, tax them on them from,